Hey, what's going on, guys? So recently, there has been a massive market crash in a while, and it's been triggered through Trump actually imposing 100% tariffs on China. And it pretty much crashed and liquidated a bunch of crypto leverage traders, primarily. For example, people doing like 2x, 3x leverage on altcoins, right? And so I'm just on Twitter and I'm seeing all kinds of crazy news of, some high profile crypto influencers and traders and just people kind of going crazy in general by losing a lot of their money. And what this is exposing is what I suspected all along is that within the trader and crypto community at large is a massive mental health crisis and just a massive mental health crisis across the world in general. I truly believe that from today and moving forward, mental health is probably one of the biggest problems everybody individually will face, and what we're going to face moving forward, especially with the evolution of technology. And it's just really interesting to see that even though in today's modern day and age, the quality of the standard of life and the quality of life that we generally have on an external basis is the highest it's ever been. Okay. And the fact that even though, we're pretty much most people, right, in general, especially if you live in, a Western or a first world country, generally most of our physical needs are taken care of. And most of the time, our safety and security are well taken care of. No problem, especially with how well the economy kind of is going in general. Even though we have that, right, people's mental health are going crazy, right? So this kind of goes and highlights the fact that your mental health and taking care of your internal world is the most important thing that you can do. And if it's something you haven't been focused on, please take this seriously and make sure that you take care of your mental health, right? Go see professional help if you need to. Take a break. Make sure you're taking care of your body and your physical health as well. Take the time to do some, meditation, some breath work, some mindfulness, journal, process your emotions, practice gratitude, all of these foundational things, because you'll end up being like some of these people that they place so much emphasis on money and external success and all of these things. And then when they lose that, they end up killing themselves, right? So, for example, there's this guy, this Ukrainian crypto influencer, Konstantin Ilich. He died after the market crash. He deleted himself, and it's just sad to see. No amount of money is worth your life, right? It's just incredibly sad to see. And there's a lot of people that they put all of their self-worth and their identity in making money and success, and then when they lose it, they don't have anything less, and then they're highly susceptible to be doing things like this, which is incredibly sad. And even this Andrew Tate video here, right, he ends up talking about why people are, it's essentially gambling, right? It's the crypto, it's like a digital casino, and a lot of people are highly leveraged trading, and anytime they lose a lot of money, it's like a complete like crisis. And I think part of the reason why they get into those highly leveraged and risky situations is because they were so desperate to achieve a certain level of money and the status and the material things that come along with it. They're willing to put a lot of risk up at front. So the fact that they didn't take care of their mental health in the first place was how they actually got themselves to that risky position in the first place. Right. And he starts talking about how if you were to actually do things correct in the first place, then, for example, have a proper income or a business opportunity that's bringing you active income by, providing some type of value to the world, you wouldn't be as as highly impacted by the downturn because you still would have money kind of coming through. Right. And it's just sad, man. Like I'm going down my timeline and people, this guy lost 802K and got liquidated. Right. He says, bye Twitter. And this guy, he's probably in a massive breakdown. So it's just like, I don't know, we're all focused on the wrong things. We're too focused on the external success and all of these things. And you can't really control what the market is doing. You can't control what a lot of these corrupt politicians and inside traders are doing. And when you are putting your entire well-being in your life in the hands of the external world, you're not going to be in a good position because you can't control all this stuff. You can't. But what you can control is you can control your mood. You can control how you feel about yourself and your self-worth. You can take, the right steps to take care of your physical health and your mental health and do things like meditation and get the help that you need, and journal and process your emotions, and making sure that you're even keeled and in control of your state. So it's just sad, man. And I even bookmarked this one reply, and this guy, I agree with everything he's saying, right? Dark humor aside, mental health in crypto communities is a serious issue we should be discussing more openly. And it's sad, right? Like, only 534 people saw this tweet. I think this is the crux of a huge problem in the crypto and trader communities, because a lot of people are just so desperate for money. They think money is going to solve their problems and fill that hole that they had, when in reality, if they actually gone deeper and did the internal work, they wouldn't need to fill this hole with all this external stuff. And that's not to say that getting money, like, hey, listen, I'm actively working towards trying to make money myself, right? And I also was in the crypto market. I have lost some money, or I wasn't leveraged, right, like these guys, but I did lose, probably about 20% of my crypto portfolio, 10 to 20% of my crypto portfolio in the past few days. But I'm chilling. Like, I'm not, I'm not fully devastated, because I know that my self-worth and my overall well-being and who I am as a man is not fully determined by the amount of money that I have. Okay. And so it's just sad, man. It's just sad. Like, please take care of your mental health, right? Like, this one guy, he lost $15 million, bro. Like, goodbye forever. Like, man, it's just, please, people, just take care of yourself. Like, this poor Ukrainian guy, had, in a Lamborghini. People think that, oh man, like, isn't this crazy? Just think about this for a second. People have this dream, like, oh, if I just get a Lamborghini, oh, my life will be solved. But look at this guy. This guy got the Lamborghini, and he deleted himself in the Lamborghini. So these material things, they don't solve. Like, listen, you can enjoy and you can appreciate and have gratitude for these things, and really enjoy them on an unattached basis, right? These aren't these don't solve and truly provide fulfillment, right? You can enjoy them in a short moment, appreciation for material things, but don't attach yourself to them. It's not going to solve these deep rooted problems that we have. Even crypto aside, like, I saw this one tweet that really made me think that, man, everybody's just chasing the wrong thing. So here, I know a guy in New York City, Harvard grad, banker, married, young, 3 kids, did everything right. He found out his wife was cheating. She took half, kept the house. Now he works 70-hour weeks to fund her new life. He pays the mortgage on the home he can't live in. He covers everything. Pretty much, he only keeps 40% of what he earns. And basically, he said, he checked all the boxes, and it blew up in his face. And this is just goes to show that, hey, you can do all the right things and try to be, a good boy and get all the material success. But in the end, sometimes the material world can blow up in your face. And when that happens, and if you've been putting too much of your eggs in your basket on, validation from the external world, what happens when that gets taken away from you? And this is when people are now at risk for massive mental health problems. And so it's like, how I see it, how I think the solution is, you need to live both worlds. You need to live an external world and an internal world, right? I'm not saying you got to go live like a monk and just meditate and not do anything to make money or take care of your physical needs. I'm not saying that, but you need to have a strong balance of both, right? Because if you can take care of yourself in the physical world, and you do the internal work, the mental health stuff, and even, if you're spiritual, bring in a spiritual element into it, these two things play off each other, right? And so the better that you get within the physical world, it can help in your mental world. And if you work on things in the mental world, it will help with the physical world. So follow this two-pronged approach, okay? And, that's kind of what I've been, following myself. Because I'll be honest, like, I would say probably around 10 years ago, after I graduated university, I was going through a massive mental health crises myself, right? I had a lot of anxiety. I had chronic panic attacks. I was even slightly depressed for a period of time. I briefly dealt with some alcohol issues as well in the past. And I thought I had everything working out for me. I had the good job, right? The kind of like what this guy did, right? I worked in corporate finance. I had a girlfriend that I thought I loved, and I had all these material things and the success, but I just wasn't grounded mentally. My mental health was in tatters. And it wasn't until I started taking my mental health seriously, and then also making sure I'm pairing that with taking care of my mental health, that's when things started getting better. And now I don't really face a lot of these issues. And now a lot of the mental health practices like meditation, gratitude journaling, emotional processing, through, talking out through things out loud. I even got mental health coaching for, and also saw a therapist for a short period that really helped me out. And so by doing a lot of these things, I'm very well grounded, and I'm more even keeled now. I'm not as volatile, and I can lose tens of thousands of dollars through a market dip and still be fine, and or even lose a job, for example, or lose a relationship and I'd still be fine. Right? Obviously, like I would still feel sad. I'm human, right? I would still feel sad and down for a little bit, but it won't be as volatile as people that are, for example, willing to take their lives or completely, get wrapped up in addictions and things like this because these external things in their life have gone down south. So I just want to make this video real quick because I just think this is something that needs to be said, man. Like I feel like people aren't taking their mental health as seriously as they should, and this crypto market crash is just highlighting what's been going on in the world. So if you want to learn more things related to improving and optimizing your physical and your mental health and your well-being, give me a follow. That's what this channel is about. I'm going to be sharing lessons and experiences in my journey that I had to improve my overall physical and mental health. And then I hope that it can help you guys. So see you guys later. Peace.